Welcome back, viewers, to another race here at Daytona Tamworth in the Elite Karting Series. You join us now for group number 2 as they have their first race. They've just been out on circuit and had their 9-minute warm-up session and their 1-lap qualifying, which then sets the grid for the opening race. So Abby Sanders then put it on pole position with a 57.5 ahead of the Tamworth RT8 lap record holder in Andrew McWilliam. We then got Samuel Russell starting in P3 on the grid ahead of the 7-time Bottle Park champion in Ollie Smith. We then got Oscar Lee starting in P5 ahead of Jamie Shearman Chase, with Liam Tricker then in 7th place ahead of the first of our heavyweight drivers in Chris Clishmore. Tom Langford then is coming in 9th place ahead of the second of our heavyweight drivers in James Brown, with Simon Fuller and Matthew Lawton rounding off the grid. Let's hand over now to our live commentary from Tom Dillon.
They're rolling hit for race 2 of the EKS, grid 2 of the first round of EKS, and through the final corner they go. It's going to be Andrew on the outside, Abby on the inside. We've got the green flag at Tamworth, and Abby into turn 1. He's going to hold on to the lead of the race, but Andrew trying to get that back as they go up through the chicane into turn 3. Andrew has to tuck in behind and stay where he is. Samuel Russell under a little bit of pressure further behind. He's holding on to 3rd position at the moment. There goes Andrew trying to get down the inside into turn 1 onto the grass ever so slightly. It looked like for a moment from our vantage point. Has to tuck in behind. Abby not getting away at all at the moment. Andrew pushing it all the way through the sector 1, as was the case in race 1. About 4 or 5 kart lengths they've pulled out at the moment. Samuel Russell now gets overtaken by the 4th place starting car, it appears. Samuel now under a further amount of pressure, actually. Abby still through the kink into final turn now, holding on to Andrew. 1:15 overtook Samuel as they come up to the timing loop for the first time. 9 minutes onto the clock. And it's Abby Sanders who has the lead at the moment. Samuel Russell is falling a little bit further behind. It's Ollie Smith who now occupies that 3rd spot in that 1:15. Russell in the 1:09 cards at the moment. He wears the number 21 on his back. He said it was to signify how he wanted to win a championship by the age of 21. He did do that at Midland Karting in 2020. Moved up into Tamworth, not quite able to get himself onto the podium just yet though he is trying to pressurise Ollie as they head round into sector 3 now. Abby Sanders still holding on to the lead of this race. Andrew McWilliam still holding in there, still standing, trying to find a way through. Won't come easily to him though. Abby looking comfortable at the moment as they slide through the kink and into the hairpin. A slight bump from the two of them as they go down into turn 1. Russell's trying to pressurise Ollie Smith as well as they head down into turn 1, up to turn 2, the chicane, and then turn 3 as well. Through goes Sanders, holding about 2 kart lengths. I believe it's pretty line of stern further back. Lap times at the moment, 57.4, best lap for Abby Sanders, fastest lap of the race as well. That will be pole position for race 2. Russell's off at the first of the hairpins. Turn 4 it is, and he's fallen all the way down the order. There's another moment, I think, as someone's tried to get through into what appears to be, I think, 6th position. They're battling along around the outside. I think a position has been gained there, but Samuel Russell out of 4th position, I should say. Ollie Smith has a little bit of breathing room. Through they come as the battles rage on. Ollie Smith now catching up to the lead 2. It's actually Andrew McWilliam who's looking like he's trying to eye up a move on Abby Sanders, significantly faster on this lap, and they're practically bumping again through this hairpin. Ollie Smith has caught up to this battle as well. Russell catching back up to the pack that's battling for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. It was 7th, that battle. I believe it was Chris Clishmore being overtaken by Liam Tricker. Ollie Smith 3rd position. It looks, yeah, there we go. Timing screen catching up with Samuel Russell's mistake earlier on into this race. I think it was just a mistake for Samuel and not anything else than that, having to recollect himself. But Abby Sanders pulling out a little bit of a gap. Andrew keeping her honest. Ollie Smith trying to keep pace. 57.4, best lap. The top 3 actually right on pace with each other, separated by just 1/10 of a second on that previous lap. Ollie Smith, he was 3/10 of a second faster than Abby Sanders, and 4 compared to Andrew McWilliam. These guys are going to be battling all through to the end of this race. 6 minutes to go on the gantry on the left-hand side. It says 6 minutes to go as well. So these guys are going to have to think about making the move soon enough. I'm looking actually as they pass my screen now, the 120, which is the battle for 5th position. Liam Tricker occupying that at the moment. In no man's land is Oscar Lee in 4th position. That's the 106 card. He's pulled out about 5 seconds to Tricker in 5th. But the issue for him is that he's got another about 5 seconds to the guys ahead of him in 3rd, which Ollie Smith at the moment not quite able to catch up to the guys at the same pace as he was before. He was 57.4, razor sharp, consistent. The issue is that Andrew McWilliam 57.2 across the line on the previous lap. Abby Sanders 57.4. So all of the guys are pretty much equal pace, though you need to be significantly faster to make a move. For McWilliam has a look down into Sector 3. And through the kink they go now. It's sort of lost him a little bit of time. Tighter line than Abby through that final corner now. Looking to get a run, 5 minutes to go on the gantry. And Sanders has pulled out a couple of car lengths. Ollie Smith tries to apply pressure once more. Samuel Rasool has lost a couple of positions on that previous lap. He's down into 9th position. He's trying to pressurise Tom Langford and Jamie Shearman Chase as they go up into the timing line. 58s for these guys. Not quite able to get into that 60 range. Rasool goes for a move down the inside, and in fact I think he's going to be able to get himself ahead of Tom Langford, and he does. Shuts the door into the off-camber left-hander, and that's him trying to slice his way through this field. He'll be disappointed with how this race has gone with that mistake. Abby Sanders in the meantime is now starting to drop Andrew McWilliam ever so slightly. Ollie Smith is in 3rd position. And Ollie Smith is attacking very well indeed. This is an impressive little stint for him. Keeping an eye as well on 4th, Oscar Lee. He's slower than these guys, but he's starting to get reeled in ever so slightly by the looks of things by Liam Tricker behind him. They're very equal on pace. Up through the first timing corner they go. Sanders with about 3 or 4 kart lengths. And now Ollie Smith is starting to pressurise Andrew McWilliam for this 2nd place. The timing screen reflecting that move from Rasool on the previous lap. The two at the back of the field, that's Brown and Fuller. They're having a battle, of course, according to my entry list. The only heavyweight at the moment, Chris Klitschmore, he sits down in 6th position, 25 points for him at the moment. Of course, the timing, the scoring, pretty safe, 25, 22, 20. The top 3, then pretty much 2 points further there. Abby Sanders still holding on to the lead of the race. 3 minutes to go on the timing tower. It's Ollie Smith who's still trying to apply pressure to Andrew McWilliam. He just has a little bit too much pace at the moment, which is actually pretty much the case for the top 3. The real battle on this circuit right now is Tom Langford, who's just been overtaken once more. I believe he's falling down the order. There we go. As we cross the line, it has been reflected on the timing screen. Jamie Shearman Chase now sits in 8th position ahead of him. And as they go through Sector 2, I can see Samuel Rasool trying to apply pressure to Chris Klitschmore. In the heavyweight class, they're not racing for the same points. They've got to be careful. And actually, Samuel Rasool has made that move stick. Further back, 11th and 12th are having a battle. 10th and 11th are having a battle, I should say. And it looks like down the inside is going Simon Fuller. And I think he's got that move stuck. We'll have to wait and see what the timing loop says. But through they go. Difficult stuff for the 10th and 11th place carts at the moment. Abby Sanders holds on to the lead of this race. Back down the inside goes the 1-2-4. He was on the outside there. Back to the inside. It's going the 103. It's a battle between the two of them. 1-2-3, I should say. Very fast kart in that previous race, finishing midfield. But it is as they head over that timing loop. James Brown leading Simon Fuller for that 10th spot. Ollie Smith is being dropped ever so slightly by Andrew McWilliam, who sits in 2nd. Andrew McWilliam now, as we go over 1 minute onto the timing screen, should be 1 or 2 laps, depends on what they'll squeeze in. It's now or never for Andrew McWilliam, trying to get the win of this race. He holds the fastest lap of the race, so will be on pole position into the second, if he is indeed going to do so. Next, after us, of course, is that second race of the first grid. Andrew McWilliam, though, now trying to apply some pressure as they go down into one of the Sector 2 hairpins, turn 5, I think that is. Sounded like a moment there was a spin in front of me. That wasn't the 103 kart. It is indeed the 103 kart. Was trying to pressurize. It's registering as 123 on my screen, or 124, so not too sure what's going on there. They've lost 30 seconds, the leaders of this race, by the way, who are just coming out of the kink now and down into that hairpin. Oh, huge slide for Andrew McWilliam, who loses a little bit of time into that final corner. Shake of the head as well from Andrew. 0 minutes onto the clock. It looks like we're going to squeeze one more lap in. No, we aren't. Abby Sanders has held on throughout this race and able to pick up first position. McWilliam crosses the line second. Third is Ollie Smith. It looks like Jamie Shim and Chase has got past Chris Klitschbaugh for 7th position. Crossing the line in 5th now is Liam Tricker. Samuel Rasool recovers to 6th, and then crossing the line once more 7th and 8th. It looks like Shim and Chase made that stick on Klitschbaugh at Langford, Brown and Fuller now, who we're keeping an eye on. Through that final corner they go. It looks like it's going to be all she rode. So it's Abby Sanders who wins this race too. Andrew McWilliam sits in second, Ollie Smith in third. The rest of your finishers then: Ollie Smith in third, obviously Oscar Lee in fourth, Liam Trickett, Samuel Rasool, Jamie Shim and Chase, Chris Klitschbaugh, Tom Langford, James Brown and Simon Fuller.